Okay, cubic equations, which should, excuse me, cubic equations, which should be pretty friendly. If I have an x cubed, how am I going to solve for it? What am I going to do? I am not going to square root it. Absolutely not. I am going to cube root it for sure. Is that what you meant? Okay, do you remember where to find that in your calculator? Do I need to remind you? I will remind you. So right here under math, right, you would be looking for that fourth option right there. But I am going to go ahead and guess that most of you already knew that the cube root of 27 was 3. That was one that you were able to figure out. Because really, aren't we just factoring it out and we're looking for 3 of the same number?
Sure.
Yes.
Yes.
Absolutely yes. So what I want to know now, need help finding it on your calculator?
I got it.
You got it? Okay, sorry, I should have asked before I moved on. Can we take the cubed root of like a negative 27?
Probably.
There's always some confusion here. I see some of this, I see some of this, and I also see some of this.
Yeah, you can.
So let me just put it this way. I mean, I know you can type it in your calculator and figure it out, but think about this. A negative times itself 3 times is still going to be a negative in the end result, right? So we can take the cubed root of a negative number. That's okay. Your answer will just be negative. Go ahead and figure that one out real fast. What'd you get?
4. Close.
4 doesn't help me. All right, and then they start throwing in words, which just makes it a little uglier, but this one's super friendly. Find the side length of a cube. What do you guys know about the side lengths of a cube, by the way?
Not much.
They're the same? They are the same, and it tells me my volume is 125. But it doesn't tell me how long a side is. So what do we call it when we don't know it in algebra? So x, x, x. How do we find the volume of a cube? Side times side times side, which in this case is x cubed. So that equals 125 cubed root that.
30.
Not 3. 5.
It says 5 on my calculator, I promise.
That's good. I'm glad. All right. And then this is where it gets uglier. So they've got friendly problems, and then they give us something like this. But it also says use a graphing calculator to find the answer. So I have to come up with an equation, right? If I'm going to be able to use the graphing calculator. So it's a big cube. Yes, it's 6 feet tall. Oh, the slice that's taken off is, I have a hard time drawing cubes like this. I don't know how you guys do. There's my cube. And then what do we do to that cube? We cut off a slice. How thick does it say that slice is?
6 feet.
So this is 6 feet right there. And so what's left is this bottom portion of the box, right? This white part down here. And it tells me the volume is 81 cubic feet. So I need to go back and I need to find the side length of the original cube. Okay. I know side times side times side is going to equal 81, right? So I'm going to have 3 things that I'm timesing together. I've got to figure out what those are. Do we know the side length? We don't. So what are we going to call it? Did I change this side at all?
No.
No. Did I change, whoops, let's call it x, not 6. Sorry about that. Did I change this side at all?
No.
So if this side is x, so is this side. Did I change the height?
Yes.
So what do we call it? X minus 6. right? We had our side of x, and then we took 6 feet off of it. Huge cube. So I've got an x, I have an x, and I have an x minus 6. Do I need to distribute that out? Not necessarily. But if I want to graph this, it does need to be set equal to what? It needs to be set equal to 0. So watch how lazy I am. I might call this x squared just because it's easier to type into my calculator. And then I know that's x minus 6. I need to move the 81 to the other side. Is that something I could type into my calculator? Yeah, for sure. So when I did this earlier this morning with my first hour class, the Alex graphing calculator was kind of funny. So I just want to see what happens this time. I've just opened another problem so I can use their calculator. So we're going to go to y equals, what did we have? We said x squared, and then it was x minus 6. Did I type that right?
Yeah.
Minus 81? Yeah. All right, when I graph that, what's my scale right here? Does it go to 10? If I were to zoom out on this, not that you have to. Oh, I'm going to zoom in one more time. You can kind of see this cubic function. Remember when we talked about that last week? If it's a cubic, we would expect how many terms? 2. What do you guys think I'm looking for, by the way? I am looking for the 0 right here. So let's go back to calculate. We've done this before, haven't we? 0, what do I have to do with these lines? Drag them, where did it go?
Is it the top?
I really had a hard time with this morning. It didn't like this function very well. Oh my word. Where are you? I can't grab it. I know. Let's see. Okay, it let me do it with that right there. So my x is what if it wants me to round to 2 decimal places? 7.46. So that is our original side length. Okay, 7.46. Finding the 0 isn't bad, right? But setting up the equation is the hard part. Now this one is pretty similar, so I don't want to do that one. Can I try another one? Let's go up to 8, see if that's a different one. Oh, okay. Let's at least set this one up, and that's the last thing I'll do with you, and then I'll open your homework. A rectangular box has dimensions 4 by 5 by 5. You open up this other tool. All right, so we have, whoa. We have a box, and it is 4 by 4 by 5. Okay, we'll just change that one to 5 then. And then increase each dimension of the box by the same amount, and it yields a new box with a volume 5 times that of the old. This one is multi-step. So help me figure out what we need to do here. How do I figure out the volume of this box? Times them all together? Help me out. 5 times 5 times 4.
100, yeah.
Okay, so the volume of this box is 100. So the volume of the new box is what? 5 times as much as that? So my new box is going to be 500. And then we want to increase this box by what? Each dimension by the same amount. Does it tell us the amount? Doesn't tell us the amount, so what are we going to call it? X. So if I'm going to do side times side times side, I'm going to have 5 plus x. Am I going to have 2 of those? Could I just go like that? Could I write 5 plus x again if I wanted to? For sure. And then a 4 plus x? What do you need to do before you type that in your calculator? Move that 500 over, set it equal to 0, and then graph it and find your zeros. Super duper? Okay, those are where you're going to get stuck, so just holler at me. Don't struggle, let me help you through it.